Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cup to Hook movie night. Hey, Jen. Hey, Roseanne. Roseanne, I heard earlier. I'm going to see if I can bring my camera down just a little bit. I am so sorry, love, that I forgot to wish you a happy birthday. Whoops, I'm making y'all crooked. Sorry. Not trying to make y'all dizzy. I changed chairs, so now I feel like I'm sitting really low. There, that's better. So I was at Women of Joy when you had a birthday. So I'm sorry that I missed that and I forgot to shout it out. So I have been shouting it out on all my lives today. Did I? Well, go me. Because I had forgotten about that. And so it was important to me to make sure that even if it was late, that I said it. So real quick, tell me, is everyone caught up on the Longmire blanket? Girls are rolling in. I wish we could get more people in here, but it's okay if it's just us. We'll just keep on rolling and watching and crocheting. Sounds like a song. Roll on, watching and crocheting. All right, so let's see real quick. Everyone's saying hello. Roseanne said, thank you. It's okay. You wished it early. Jen says, hi, Roseanne. Roseanne says, no problem. Grandma Anna says, hi, everyone. Hugs. Hello, Grandma Anna. And she says, I am caught up. Woo! And Roseanne says, oh, I'm watching the Longmire earlier tonight. And Roseanne says, hi, Grandma. Jen says, no, I'm busy. And that's okay, Jen. There might be some weeks we might only add a row. Roseanne says, yes. Grandma Anna says, I found doing the crab from behind the blanket easier. Now that's a thought. That is a thought. You see the wheels turning, right? Well, that is a thought. Jen says, hi, Grandma Anna. Grandma Anna says, hugs, Roseanne and Jen. And you guys, I'm reading the comments out loud in case Miss Sylvia pops on here. And there's a couple other of my subscribers that are seeing impaired. And so it is to help them out. That is something that I have become a little bit more aware of the more I do this. Roseanne says, hugs to you too. Thank you. Grandma Anna says, it was a lot easier to get the hook in from the bottom when I held it from behind. And that makes sense. But didn't it make such a cool little, depth to the blanket? I was in love with it. So I do too. Grandma Anna says, I love the ridge that it made. I did too. And I started to grab it. I can't do that. I don't want to spoil any surprises. But I almost did it. The wavelength. I still just love even the, even though it's flat, I love the texture that it brought to the blanket. So we will have something similar to that come up in the blanket that will kind of give that same effect, but be a little bit different. But the wavelength stitch will possibly appear again in the blanket. I had thought about getting to a point and then repeating it so it kind of mirrored itself. But part of the cool thing about this blanket is it doesn't have to mirror itself. And we can continue to add new stitches and new textures and new depth. So, however, if there is a stitch, doesn't have to be the color, because remember, the color is not left up to us unless you're like Jen. I love you. We can repeat a stitch. And so let me know, because this is just as much an input from y'all as well. Grandma Anna says, I am enjoying learning new stitches. Me too. Me too. Jen says, I love how the colors are working out together too. I do too, Jen. So I know I was just picking on you. I don't know if you are still kind of picking them or if you're, you know, going with the numbers like we are. Jen says, laugh out loud. Or she says, hey, hey, laugh out loud. Grandma Anna says, I did mess up and use the wrong color, but it came out okay. That's fine. That's fine. As long as you're happy and as long as it's bringing you, I was going to say joy. I feel like I'm starting to abuse that word and I don't want to, but if it brings satisfaction to you, that's what matters. And I do appreciate all the pictures that y'all are sending in. I've gotten caught up on everything as far as correspondence, except for some of the emails. So I will try and finish those up over the next couple days. If not, when I'm off next week, I will. Grandma Anna says, my daughter and I are loving this blanket. That just makes my heart smile. Hello, Mimi Cat Do. How are you? Welcome to our little movie night party. We are talking about the Longmire blanket and just how the colors are coming together, the stitches. Grandma Anna was talking about the crab stitch that we did and how she kind of did it from behind and it made it easier. And so that was a cool perspective. Mimi Cat Do says, good now. Oh, I hope that's because you're with us. But if I missed something and you're not feeling well or something, please let me know. But I think you're referring to being with us, and that just makes our heart smile. Deborah DeWitt, hello, hello, my friend. That new reverse stitch has my goat. Oh, having to redo it again, but I am determined to get it. Deborah, I don't know if you heard, but Grandma Anna suggested she did it from behind. So she was talking about how she held the blanket the opposite way and worked it that way, going back across. And that was pretty smart. So instead of holding it like this, let's see if I get my hands up in front of the camera, and working it, backwards this way, she turned it around. And so that, the working part was here and the blanket was going that way. And she was able to work it going this way. And she said it helped a lot. So maybe that might help you as well. Mimi Cat Do says, nice. Grandma Anna says, that stitch I did from behind, Deborah. Thank you, Grandma Anna, for telling her that. Bevy, hello, Bevy. Yes, I'm so glad to have you back. And speaking of which, as I'm doing this, I learned something new today from my friend Petra. And that's why I was just a few minutes late, because I went over and was a part of her live. She taught me how to add you guys as moderators so that if you want to drop your links on here, you can. And once I do that to you, you are automatically done. but I've done it to a couple of you and I don't see it changing over. So I'm not sure why. So maybe it will in a minute. Maybe it just has to get caught up. Okay. It says that y'all are now moderators, but it's not. Now it is. Now it's coming through. I guess it just had to take a moment. All right. Okay. Let's see. Mimi Cat Do says, been a rough day, so I'm glad to be here with you. Oh, Mimi, I am so sorry. Everybody give hugs to Mimi. Well, I'm glad that you're here with us. That makes my day. But I'm sad that you didn't have a great day. I won't, Jen. Thank you for sharing that praise. Yes, Grandma Anna. Hugs, Mimi. Bevy says, hello, everyone. Bevy, thank you for being here. We will, Jen. We will definitely be praying for him. In fact, I'm going to put this as, I'll write the word silent so that I know not to include it in my Bible study, but in my personal prayers. Thank you for trusting us with that, Jen. All right. Deborah says, maybe I will try. Grandma Anna says, I will, Jen, about your prayer request. Grandma Anna says, thank you. Mimi Cat Do, thank you, Grandma Anna. Prayers, Jen. And then, okay, so there's Bevy's link. So everybody, if you can, click on her link and give her thumbs up. Support her channel. Jen says, hi, all the new peeps that are coming in. Yes, we are so excited to have everyone, especially all of our new friends. Thank you, Jen, for welcoming them. I know, so excited. We were just talking about how we wish more people would come hang out with us. Roseanne says hugs. Grandma Anna says hugs. Bevy gave smiley faces. Jen says, I don't have content, so I don't need to drop my link, but I'll check out everyone else's. You're so sweet, Jen. Deborah DeWitt says, I'm going to just listen in for a few while fixing some food. Not a problem, Deborah. I'm just glad you're here with us. The hubby and I had some spaghetti, and I was trying to wolf it down while I was watching Miss Petra's live. Bevy says, I'm so eager to get better at crochet. It's killing me. Well, we're glad to have you, and no better way to practice while we have our movie discussion. Jen says, thank you to you, Grandma Anna. Roseanne says, I'm the same, Jen. I don't have any content. Well, I'm glad that you ladies are here. But if you did have content, we would definitely go support you. Jen says, Mimi Cat Do. Jen says, shh. Bevy says, still, Jen, drop it. Oh. Well, Bevy, Jen still wants you to drop your link if you want to. Mimi Cat Do says, love you, Jen. Jen says, thanks, Roseanne. And Grandma Anna says, I'm here till bedtime. I had a shot in the knee, so I'm staying off of it as much as possible. Oh, wow. Well, I am so sorry that you had to have a shot in your knee. Does that mean possible surgery in the future for you? Grandma Anna says sec phone. All right. So real quick, let's see. Mimi Cat Do says, drop it anyway in case you add content, you'll have a head start on members. Very, very true. Very, very true. So before we get started, what whip did y'all bring to the party? What are you going to be working on while we're hanging out? I am going to continue working on the baby blanket that I'm doing from the Stay Home, Stay Crafty box. And I'm adjusting my yarn so I can pick it up and show you. If you were with me earlier, you got a peek at it already, but this is it. I don't know if y'all can see it. I can't see what you see when I put it in front of me, but anyway, love these colors. It looks like ice cream and cupcakes. All right. So we had Mimi Cat Do says, started a new pair of orange socks for a friend. Mimi, are you crocheting those or are you knitting those? I have crocheted one like mate to a pair. But I got some thicker yarn from Crochet Society with a new sock pattern that I'm going to try. You're knitting them. I wonder if it's easier to knit them than crochet them. Are you using like a fine sock yarn? Because I'm almost thinking knitting them would be a lot easier than crocheting with a sock yarn. Okay. I do need to finish the second mate to my pair. Jeanette said, Jen, I read your name in the first word, which was Burnett, and I called you Jeanette. Jen says, Burnett baby blanket yarn, yellow, pink, green, white baby blanket. Yellow, pink, and green and white. Wow, that's going to be pretty. Mimi Cat Do says, fingering weight sock yarn. Okay. Grandma Anna says, sorry, my son called. I have a huge praise. He works for the sheriff's office and they busted 14 pedophiles. Woo! Yay to your son. God bless him and his unit. Amen to that. That is a huge praise. And you know, our phone calls from always come first. So I am glad you got that call. And we thank your son for his service. That's a tough job to be in, especially nowadays. Jen says, yay. Roseanne says, wow. Mimi Cat Do says, awesome. Praise the Lord. Grandma Anna says, I'm proud of him. I am sure you are. I am sure you are. You raised a good man there. And in fact, Grandma Anna, I'm going to add him to just my personal prayer list. So I can just kind of pray for him on a continual basis to keep him safe. All right. So that was my prayer list. I have all these notes in front of me because I want to keep up with everyone. All right. So let's see. Awesome. Praise the Lord, says Mimi Cat Do. And Grandma Anna says she's proud of her son. Petra, hello. Welcome back. I am so glad I got to pop in on your live tonight. You taught me so much about the shawls, and I am definitely going to make a point of trying to make several of the virus lace, because I would love to give that away to several people. And then when I'm done gifting everyone, I would love to have one of those for myself. I definitely have enough cake yarn to do it with. All right. Let's see real quick. Jen says, hi, Petra. Grandma Anna, he does this. He does the IT for them, like setting up video arraignments and stings. Oh, well, that's still a big, huge job. But thank you for being specific with that and letting me know. Like the video surveillance is what I'm assuming you're talking about. All right. Steals the show, Crochet and Chefs. Hello, welcome in. And she says, hi, Petra. Mimi Cat Do says, hey, Petra. Petra says, hi, everyone. Grandma Anna says, oops, it just jumped. Let me see. His name is Matthew Cave, and please keep him in your prayers. I will. Matthew Cave. All right, I will, Grandma Anna. Janice Urfer, hello, my friend. Was wondering if you were going to make it with us tonight. She says, hi, everyone. Still the show, Crochet and Chef says, hello. Ladies, I am Veronica, and I added you as a moderator. So please drop your link, Veronica. You guys, I'm going to quit taking notes in a minute. We're going to get started with our questions. We were talking about the Longmire blanket a little bit earlier, ladies, while I'm jotting down these quick notes. And wanted to know if everyone has had a chance to work on that, if they're caught up, if there's any suggestions or ideas you want to add for future rows. I mean, I look forward to your input on it. I'm glad that everyone is enjoying it. Jen says, hi, Veronica. Grandma Anna says, hi, Petra. Grandma Anna says, hi, Janice. Still the show. Says, it jumped again. Sorry, you guys. Says, hi, Jen. Grandma Anna says, welcome, Veronica. Janice Urfer says, my daughter had her baby yesterday. Congratulations. Oh, my gosh. So that would have put her birthday October 22nd. Janice, if you get a chance, because I don't think I have from you, will you send me an email with your address, please, love? Let me see real quick. Grandma Anna says, congratulations, Janice. Still the show. Says, thanks, Grandma Anna. Jen Reeves says, Grandma Janice, yay. And Janice says, thanks, 8 pounds, 15 ounces. Oh, wow. Healthy, healthy baby girl. Petra's happy place. Congratulations, Granny. Lori K, welcome. Hi from Minnesota. So glad to have you. Welcome, welcome. Grandma Anna says, hi, Lori. Jen says, hi, Lori. Mimi Cat Do says, hi, Janice. I love you guys so much. Thank you for making everyone feel so welcome. Grandma Anna says, please click the like button, everyone. Oh, thank you so much. Janice says, thanks, Petra. And I'm trying to catch these new people coming in and making sure that I click them as a moderator real quick. So if they want to drop any of their links, they can. Anytime you're on my videos, please, please drop your links so everyone can go over and love you, or as I've heard say, throw yarn in your window. All right, let's see here. So back to Lori and Janice. While I'm thinking of it too, your sister that had the stroke, how is she doing? I know that you said that things were still not going very well. I'm sitting here with my prayer book open, and I see that I've not had a chance to follow up with you in the last week. So please let me know how she's doing. I think her name was Rhonda. Let's see. Petra says, congrats, Granny. Lori, I apologize. Lori says, I'm from Minnesota. Grandma Anna says, hi, Lori. Jen says, hi, Lori K. Mimi Catdo says, hi, Janice. Grandma Anna says, please click the like button. Thank you. Janice says, thanks, Petra. And yes, Mimi, I'm curious too. She says, how is your sister, Janice? Still the show, Crochet and Chefs gave thumbs up. Thank you so much. Mimi says, hi, Lori. Janice says, Rhonda got home, but she hasn't gotten her Medicare approved for therapy. Well, let me add that right here, right now, because working in a hospital, I know what that is like trying to get that Medicare set up. So I will definitely be praying for that process of getting it approved. Still the show, Crochet has party favors and smiley faces. And Roseanne says, congratulations. Still the show says, congratulations. Still the show says, I'm blue. Yay. Yes, I learned how to do that tonight thanks to Petra. So everybody give Petra a clap because I appreciate her support and helping me with that. Mimi Catdo says, still praying for her, Janice. Janice says, it's a boy named Landon. Oh, wow. What a pretty name. And so I apologize because I think I said healthy girl, right? Wait a minute. Yes, it's a healthy girl. You had a granddaughter, right? Oh, my goodness. I'm going to be embarrassed. Grandma Anna says, big baby. Still the show says, in my phone, I don't know how I can share my link. Can someone for me, please? If someone's on and can do that, if you'll help them. My husband had to do it for me, and he sent it to me through Messenger, and that's how I was able to get it on my phone. If not, still the show, I will do that for you later to help you out since you're on your phone. I'm making myself a note right now in case it doesn't happen in here. Oh, thank you, Jen. Jen just did it. It popped down again. All right, so let me back up here. Grandma Anna says, I like that name. That is a pretty name. She says, my youngest grandson, Callum, Senor Nacky Butt, just turned 1. Well, happy birthday to him. Mimi Catdo says, congrats on the new baby. Janice says, thanks for prayers for Rhonda. She's home but needs therapy. Her insurance hasn't kicked in yet. Well, we're going to be praying for that Medicare. Hello, Lori. Hi, everyone. Sorry, internet issues. Well, hopefully we won't have too much lag time. Jen shared still the show's link. Thank you for that. Mimi Catdo says, hugs, Lori's. Roseanne says, thanks, Petra. Grandma Anna says, thank you, Petra. Still the show says, thank you, Jen. Jen, that's wrong. Hang on. Oops. Thank you, Jen, though, for taking care of that. Janice says, thanks for all the prayers, everyone. You're welcome, Janice. I just hate that she's having to go through that. But hopefully that process with her Medicare and insurance will go smoothly and quickly so that she's getting not only the care she needs, but that, Medicare is helping with the financial end of that. Lori says prayers and congratulations to all. And I think Jen's got your link up now, still the show. Janice says, grandson, thank you for correcting me. I wanted to make sure I was right, and I was not. So I'm going to correct that. And my partner at work, she has a daughter named Logan. So I have heard Landon for a girl's name too. So thank you for correcting me, Janice. It is a boy. All right. Mimi Catdo says boy, Landon. Janice Urfer says, happy birthday to Callum. And Grandma Anna says, I will pray for Rhonda. All right. All right, ladies, let's go ahead and get started because I don't know about you, but I say it every week. Each show is so amazing. Oh my gosh. And there's still things that we have not had answered for us. They're definitely leaving us hanging. So this first episode for episode 4 was called The Road to Hell. And I normally would not say that word, but it was in the title. All right. So as it started, they are called in because there's this rig on the side of the road. And when Walt gets there, do you remember what 3 questions he wanted answers for? So let's go. Yes, time for party time. Says still the show. So what 3 questions did Walt want answered about this rig, this truck that was on the side of the road? It was shot up with bullets. And there were 3 questions that he asked. He was talking to Ferg and Vig and Branch that he wanted answered. Do you remember? All right. Janice says, who owned the rig? Driver. Roseanne says, Prince, VIN number, GPS. So the 3 questions were, where was the rig going? Oh, wait a minute. Grandma Anna may have it. She says, where was truck going? Who was truck from? And where was cattle? Jen says, who owned it? The driver and VIN. All right. So the questions were, where was the rig going? Where did it come from? And who was driving it? All right. Question number 2. What did Walt say was unhooked from the rig? Still the show says, where's the first coffee place? Roseanne says, yes, Grandma. Yes, she did get it. Janice says the trailer. Yes, that is correct. Still the show says, I'm just joking. Oh, we knew that, sweetheart. Jen says trailer. Grandma Anna says trailer. That's right. He wanted to know where the truck trailer was. All right. Question number 3. Where did Branch say someone who stole cattle would probably take them? So if someone was going to steal cattle, where would they probably take that cattle? Roseanne says slaughterhouse. Janice says slaughter. Jen says slaughterhouse. Grandma Anna says slaughterhouse. Still the show says slaughterhouse, and that is correct. He said slaughterhouse. Now, do you remember why he said they would take them to the slaughterhouse? He gave 2 reasons. Why would they choose a slaughterhouse? Jen's right. Fast money. Good job. Janice and Roseanne all got it. Easy money, money. Jen Reeves says unload easy. Okay. Grandma Anna, you got it. Get rid of evidence fast. Still the show says money. So yes, it was quick, fast, easy money. And they could destroy the evidence really fast. All right. Question number 5. What do you make about the tone? Now, this is more of a discussion question. So So this is your opinion, your take. What do you make about the tone between Branch and Walt when Walt asked Branch to check out the local slaughterhouses, and Branch asked, "Is that before or after I dust the rig for Prince?" And Walt said, "You choose." So what was your thoughts and opinions about that scene and the tone of it? Jen says, "I loved it." I did too. That's why I asked the question. It was like almost that first moment of real, I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for? Because Branch is still technically a deputy, although the election's getting close to happening, but it was almost like that combative in a good way, stand between sheriff to sheriff, so to speak. But okay. Still the Show says, "I don't know." Grandma Anna says, "Branch was being kind of snotty." And Roseanne says, "Braised and brassy." Oh, that's a very good way to describe it. Deborah says, "Sarcasm at its best, or at its finest, excuse me." Jen says, "Walt's getting in some jabs." Definitely. Thank you, Janice. That's the word I was looking for. Rivalry. That was the exact word I was looking for. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, that was a great scene. I really enjoyed that scene. All right, here's a specific question. You ready? I know who's going to get this one. Deborah says, "Branch not doing job." Roseanne is waving. All right. How many cattle? Oh, I got it, Roseanne. When I said who's going to get the next question, and I think I know who. Yes, you're raising your hand. And you are the one I was thinking of. How many cattle was taken? Janice says 500. Jen says 54. I love it. Petra says all of them. That's one of the right answers, Petra. Roseanne says 1100. Then she said 36. Grandma Anna says 1100. Jen, you got it. Jen got it, you guys. It's 42. And then Roseanne says $110. Still the Show says $1,200. Roseanne says $1,100. Roseanne says, "Oh, each." And Janice is laughing. Are y'all asking? Y'all must be asking your own questions or assuming what I'm going to ask next. But that's good. Y'all went into a lot more detail than I did. I guess that was me being real picky in the beginning, huh? Janice, laugh out loud. Roseanne, yay, Jen. Grandma Anna says, "Grats, Jen." Kelly, hello. She says, "OMG, when the show is over, you need to watch Crystal from Bag O' Day and her alpaca she bought. You will die of cuteness. Sorry to interrupt everyone." No, so Crystal got alpacas. Oh my gosh, yes. I have to write myself a note or I'll forget. So let me find my little Post-it notes. Oh my gosh, Crystal got alpacas. That is so cute. I will go over. Thank you for sharing that, Kelly. And interrupt anytime. All right. Oh my gosh. Is everyone familiar with Crystal from Bag a Day? If not, that is a fabulous channel. And Miss Petra just showed us some shawls that she made from Crystal's channel. All right. Jen says, thanks, gals, for congratulating her. Jen says, thanks, Kelly, for sharing. Grandma Anna says, hi, Kelly. Roseanne says, yes. Still the Show says, yes, watch her. Yes, she is fantastic. All right. So question number 7. What does a stock detective do? Still the Show says, yes, I watch her. And Petra too. Yes. Y'all, Petra had some good ideas on how to wear shawls tonight. And I learned 2 ways that I had not even thought of. So if you missed her live, go watch the replay. And be sure and give them thumbs up and subscribe to their channel. Kelly says, you are welcome and hello to all. To you, sweet Kelly. Janice says, check brands. Petra says, detect stock. Duh. Roseanne says, watch over the cattle. Still the Show says, brand check. And Grandma Anna says, watch over stocks and sales. A stock detective, actually, their main job is to catch cattle rustlers. And so question number 8 is, Deborah DeWitt says, was watching earlier, cuteness overload. And I think she's talking about Crystal's alpaca video. So correct me if I'm wrong, Deborah. Yeah, we'll definitely have to go check out Crystal's video with her alpacas. That is amazing. And you guys, I don't know if she plans on doing this or not, but alpaca yarn is awesome. Deborah DeWitt says, not much on this show. He is bad. All right. So question number 8. What did Vic call the stock detective? She had her own name for the stock detective. Do you remember what she called him? She was kind of asking it more as a question to Walt, but it was nonetheless cute. Okay. I had to make sure maybe I was lagging because I wasn't getting any responses. Jen said, question mark. Deborah says, yes, Crystal. Okay. So that's who she's talking about. Yes. I will definitely have to go check out that video. Grandma Anna, Roseanne says cow sitter, and Grandma Anna says can't remember. Sorry. She called him a cow cop. Petra says, by the way, I have watched the whole series twice, but it's been quite a while since I have seen that episode. Oh, wow. So I didn't even know Longmire existed, Petra, until my wonderful subscribers came up with the idea of us watching something, talking about it, and then making something that goes along with the show we're watching. And I am so thankful because we are, and I say we, my husband and I are enjoying this show. In fact, my brother-in-law, he lives with us, but he kind of lives in the backyard in his own little studio. And he came up one night and we were watching it, and now he's kind of hooked too. But I love the humor in it too. But anyway, so you know things that we are inquiring to know, but shh. I'm so glad you're with us, Petra. You'll have to keep us straight. All right. So she called them a cow cop, which I just thought was funny and so Vic. It was just like so Vic. All right. So who sent Vic those flowers? Still the Show says, I'm still here, just need to make some coffee. I'm glad you said that because I forgot that my husband made me some coffee. Yes, Roseanne. We didn't find out at first when I wrote this question. They kind of left it a mystery. But I'm trying to decide whether I should say something. It was, okay. So Roseanne and Grandma Anna say Omar. Jen says not her husband. Janice says she doesn't know. There's no card. You're right. At this point in the episode, there was no card, and so she wasn't sure. Still the Show says laugh out loud. Probably about me forgetting about my coffee. Roseanne says, I thought it was Walt at first. Did you? I did. But then when he drove her to the flower shop and dropped her off and let her go in, I knew then it wasn't him. Yes, Jen, that's what I was trying to debate, whether we should talk about that now. Because she said to her husband, they found me at the very end. So I do have questions on that portion. So we're going to kind of hold that till we get there. But yes, Jen. But yes, everyone's right, Roseanne and Grandma Anna. Omar is trying to send her flowers, but he didn't until she called him and asked him. And then that's when he said, why, you got more suitors than me? So let's see. Petra says it was her old partner in Philly. Yep. Oops, spoiler. All right. That's going to happen. So now inquiring minds know. Petra says, sorry. That is quite all right, love. And Roseanne has all these different smiley, or not necessarily smiley faces, but emojis going. Jen says, Petra, silly girl. Roseanne says, well, we'll forget it later anyway. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? So you're good, Petra, because our crazy minds won't remember it. All right. So question number 10. What type of flowers does Vic say she does not like? Grandma Anna says, no problem, Petra. Jen says carnations. Roseanne says carnations. Janice says chrysanthemums. I'm impressed you spelled that right. I would not have done that. And I'm a speller. Grandma Anna says carnations. Yes, she said she does not like carnations. And that made me sad because carnations are my favorite flower. And so, question number 11. What is your favorite flower? So everyone take a minute and tell me what your favorite flower is. Am I lagging? Roseanne says, hello, a rose. Petra says, wait a minute, it's going so fast, I got to get closer. A peony. Now I've not heard of the specific lily. Asiatic lily? Huh, I have to Google that. My friend Beverly is into flowers. She'll know what that is, Petra. Grandma Anna says carnations. Me too, Grandma Anna. Jenna says, I don't know how to pronounce that. My brother-in-law is like a plant flower expert as well. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, Janice. Hi. Hyacinths. I'm writing that down too. I'm going to Google. I'm going to be busy tonight. Jen says, no flowers. They stink. I have a sensitive sniffer. Artificial. Jen would have to like artificial flowers. I'm sorry, love. Still the Show says, oh my goodness, y'all are teaching me things. Gannets. I'm not sure what that is. Hyacinth. Okay. Thank you, Jen. So Jen has written it in a way that I can pronounce it. Hyacinth. Grandma Anna says pronunciation. Hyacinth. Thank you, loves. Janice says purple flowers at Easter smell so good. Oh, I like purple flowers. Still the Show says, and lavender flowers. I love the scent of lavender. That's my favorite candle scent. Still the Show says, laugh out loud. All right. Thank y'all for sharing your flower. Question 12. What did Vic ask Cooper's wife for? When she went to see her, she asked her for something. What did she ask her for? Jen says lavender is stinky to me. Actually, it's lilac that I'm thinking of. Because lavender is a little bit different, but lilac. But you might think that stinks too. Because they're kind of similar a little bit. But lilac is what I'm thinking of. Yes, Janice, a photo. Yes, Roseanne. Jen, recent picture. Grandma Anna, a picture. Yes. She asked for a picture of Cooper, a recent picture of Cooper. All right, number 13. When the auctioneer asked Walt if he was bidding, Walt said no, he was browsing. What did he then ask everyone for? Jen says, I can handle lilac for a minute. Yeah, I love lilac. In fact, that's what's in my tart burners now is lilac. Still the Show says, laugh out loud. Roseanne says cattle papers. Jen says papers. Grandma Anna says they're papers. Yes, he asked them all for their livestock papers. Question 14. What did Walt and Branch discover about Dave Lowry's cattle? This is the man whose cattle were taken off the rig. And what did... Jen says no candles. Still the Show says pepper. Achoo, achoo. Still the Show says I love candles. I do too. I am always burning candles. I get those for gifts every year for all kinds of occasions. Yes, Roseanne says underweight. Janice says had been stolen before, and they had been. He said this is the second time in 3 years. Grandma Anna says he was selling them underweight. Jen says laugh out loud, V. About the pepper. And Jen says I would have to leave. Well, I just wouldn't burn any candles if you came over, my friend, because I would be more happy about seeing you than smelling my candles. And thank you, Jen, for reminding me. V, you are, that's Still the Show. You're actually Veronica, correct? I think, yes, Veronica. I can start calling you by your name instead of Still the Show. All right. Okay. So yes, he was selling them underweight. Question 15. Who did Vic call to see if they sent her flowers? We already mentioned that. Omar. Let's see. Oh my gosh, you guys. Drop your link, Veronica. She's 2 away from 500. If you've not gone and thrown some yarn in her window, please do so. Jen says, husband. Grandma Anna says she subscribed. Thank you, Grandma Anna. And talking about Vic's husband. Jen says, yay, Veronica. Still the show. Excuse me, Veronica says, you can call me V too. Okay. Well, V it is then, my friend. Jen says, scroll up in the chat. Yeah, it was up there, but I had it in my notes. I have all these notes around me. I have to get them updated in my book. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, go watch my live that was at 7. Everybody's getting a page in my subscriber book so I can keep up with everyone. All right. So yes, at first she called Omar. Well, first, excuse me, she called her husband. He was the first phone call. V says, I need 2 more yarn. So yes, if you've not thrown some yarn in V's window, please, please, she needs 2 more to get to 500. Roseanne says it was another guy too, along with her husband. Jen says, yes, Roseanne. Yes. She called her husband and then she called Omar. But then we learned something else about the first big box of flowers. And we're going to hold off on that. Jen says, V, you grew quick. Yes, you did. And she says she still needs 2 more yarn in her window. All right. Question 16. What was written on the cattle that appeared in the street? Janice says, gotcha, Bree or Veronica. So hopefully you're 1 away. Jen says, about a fart. Yes, it was. Janice says something about farts. Roseanne says farts started the Hurricane Dandy. I think Sandy. All right. So the actual thing says, yes, my farts caused Hurricane Sandy. All right. 17. What do you think about Cooper and his role with the missing cattle? So Grandma Anna says cow farts caused Hurricane Sandy. Jen says, yes, Roseanne. So remember, Cooper is Dale's son. Dale is the owner of the stock that went missing. So what do you think about Cooper's role? Because he comes out and tells us about his role in the missing cattle. So I'm just asking it as a discussion question. What do you think about his role with the missing cattle? Because he was doing it for a cause. Kelly says, I walked away for a minute and came back to farts. Shame on you guys. Yep. We didn't write the script. We're just laughing with it. But welcome back, Kelly. We talk about farts on our crochet channel. All right. Grandma says he was being stupid for love. Roseanne says he was trying to earn extra money to be in with the big boys. Grandma Anna says, LOL, Kelly. V says, LOL. Jana says he was being dishonest. definitely. Well, first off, his dad was also being dishonest selling those cows underweight. But as he stated, Mr. Dale, he was in need of money. And he said, that's why you sell things, right? But yes, Cooper is in love, and his girlfriend is very much an activist for living things. And so he concocted this plan, and it didn't work very well, as we now know. All right. So Cooper and Amy's his girlfriend, are very shocked after Vic arrests them and puts them in the jail cell. They were like, they may have come up with this plan, but they did not kill nobody. So who did they think, not who did it, who did they think hung Cooper? Oh, excuse me. I'm gonna back up. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Cooper is not Dale's son. I'm looking for his name real quick. Cooper, my bad, is not Dale's son. Dale's son I'll find it in a minute. Let me get us on the right track, and I'll find it. Roseanne says she didn't take notes tonight. I've got it written down. Cooper, I know, it is epic. Very epic. Oh, you're saying Eric. Is his name Eric? That does sound right. Trent. Jen says, I never did, Roseanne. Dale's son's name is Trent. So, back up. Cooper is the driver of the rig where the cattle went missing. So, now let's go back over. And Grandma Anna says she didn't take notes either. So, let's go back and rediscuss that. We learn what Cooper's role is. Cooper was the truck driver that went missing. His name was Cooper James. Now that I've got it straight, his last name came into my mind. So Cooper James was the driver, and he was in on the plan. And he's the one who moved all the cattle from one trailer to another and drove off with that cattle. And he come walking up kind of blindfolded and whatnot to Walt, remember? It was all staged. And Vic calls Cooper's wife, because remember, she went and got the picture of Cooper. So my bad. Yes, Grandma Anna says, and shot up the truck. Yes, he's the one who actually physically shot up the truck. And in the end, for doing this, Trent and Amy were giving Cooper $10,000 to help with some family needs that he needed to take care of and providing for his family. So it was supposed to be a very harmless thing that no one would get hurt. And so what did you think about that plan? And my bad. I'm sorry I got the characters mixed up. But since we kind of went through all that, yes, Grandma Anna said, and $10,000 to his family. So we're gonna just keep moving. So who did they think hung Cooper? Who did Walt and them think? And not who actually did it, but Who do they think did it? Do you remember? Grandma Anna is so right. She says, smart plan, but Walt is smarter. Yes, yes. So there was a man that was in prison. Yes. Grandma Anna says the guy in jail. Jen says cow rustlers. Yes. The guy that they were speaking of specifically, as Anna said, was the guy that was in jail. His name is Dunwood. And him and all of his men are cattle rustlers. And Dunwood is like this really big, kind of bad cattle rustler. All right. So they thought it was Dunwood's men operating on behalf of Dunwood, who was in jail. All right. Question 19. What was in the bag Cooper's wife gave Vic? And we've already talked about that a little bit. But she threw a bag at Vic. She opened a closet door and pulled out a bag and threw it at her and said, this arrived on my doorstep 3 hours ago. And yes, Janice, it was cash. It was the $10,000. All right. Yes, everybody's getting it right. Grandma Anna, Roseanne, yes, cash. All right. Question number, Grandma Anna says 10 grand. Absolutely. So question 20. What did Lowry do when Walt and Branch talked to him? Now, Lowry is Dale. He's the one whose cattle went missing. They started questioning him at this point when they went to his house. They went back to his ranch. Nope, I'm sorry. They're still in the sheriff's office. What did he end up doing? Because he felt like Walt was starting to accuse him of, because he had increased his insurance money. So Walt began to think that he was a part of it. And so what did Dale end up doing? Yes, V, it was money. Roseanne says he tripled his insurance for theft. Yes. He got an idea to parole prisoner. That, Janice, is the stock detective who got the idea about paroling the prisoner. Dale Lowry, the one whose cattle went missing, he ended up lawyering up. So Walt had to stop all conversation with him. And part of that question was a why. And basically he said he didn't steal his own cattle and he sure didn't kill Cooper James. All right. Question 21. What happened in the street? So they were all in the office talking and something started going on in the street. What was happening? Yes, Roseanne says the cattle was there. Jen says cow walked up. So they had more cows walk up. And then an argument ensues between Amy and Omar. Omar was there because he was delivering flowers to Vic. And so he kind of started speaking to the girl and putting in his 2 cents. And she started speaking back, which later he called her granola girl, which I thought was kind of funny. But anyway, so yes, there were more cows. And the next question was, why was Omar there? And we've already discussed delivering flowers to Vic. Grandma says, yes, about eating the meat. And so stay with me, Grandma Anna, because you're probably going to answer this next question. Or almost next question. So we're back on Omar delivering the flowers. Question number 23. What did Walt tell him to do about sending flowers to Vic? What did Walt tell Omar about sending flowers to Vic? Roseanne says to stop. Janice says not do it. Grandma Anna says stop. Jen says don't give them to her. Yeah, he basically told him to stop doing it. And why? Why do you think he told him to stop? This is just our opinion. She has a husband. She's married. Husband. Jen and Roseanne, yes. Janice, she's married. Grandma Anna says it's creepy. V says married. Yeah, she's married. And so Walt is like, stop, because that leads into the next question. Roseanne says maybe Walt wanted to give her flowers. I still kind of have that kind of going on in the back of my head, but I'm not sure yet. Walt tells Omar, this is question number 24. What did Walt tell him it cost him the last time he gave someone flowers? Jen says she doesn't think so. I still kind of feel like, you know, Walt being a dad too over Katie, because Katie and Vic are very close in age, I would think. Vic might be just a little bit older than Katie. And I think he does kind of look at her like a daughter, and he's protective, and she's married. Yes. The last time Omar gave flowers to somebody, it cost him a wife. Roseanne, you said his fifth wife, but Walt actually says his first wife. He says his first wife. All right. So as Omar is leaving, question 25, what did Omar yell at the young girl? This is Amy. When he's walking away from the conversation with Walt and the flowers, what did he say? I'm going to get a what? He yelled it really, really loud, which was really to antagonize her. Roseanne, I'm going to have a hamburger. Hamburger, says Jen. Grandma Anna says hamburger. Yes. He yells, I am going to go get a burger. All right. Here's another thinking question. Question 26. What college was the girl from? It was on her t-shirt. V says, somebody get me a hamburger. Good job, Roseanne. Freeport. But Janice, you're correct. Freeport is in Maine, the state of Maine. V says money. Jen says Freeman or Freeport. Grandma Anna says Bridgeport. It was Freeport, Freeport in Maine. All right, so now Walt has gone to Henry to get Henry to go to the res with him. Grandma Anna says, I knew it was a port. Yes. Laugh out loud. So he's gotten Henry there going to the res because there is an activist out there on the reservation. He's dating a Cheyenne girl by the name of Whisper, and his name is Helms. And so the question is, Helms told Walt that this is America where people are supposed to take responsibility for what? What in America are we supposed to take responsibility for? Roseanne says their land. Janice says climate. Grandma Anna says land. V says land. Jen says for wrongs in the world. The answer is our actions. That in America, we are to take responsibility for our own actions. All right. Number 28. Walt stopped at the flower shop for Vic. What did Walt tell Bob? Bob is the guy that delivers flowers. What did Walt tell Bob to do? Roseanne says, find that card. Grandma Anna says, find the card. Jen says, find out who sent Vic the flowers. V says, find the card. That is all correct. Yes. He told him to find the card. And then Vic picked up Bob's cup and opened the lid and took a smell. So the question is, do you think there was alcohol in Bob's cup? Because clearly Bob didn't want to mess up this job. And so that has to be why Walt picked up the cup and smelled it. So I'm asking you, do you think there was alcohol in there? Roseanne says yes. V says yes. Janice says yes, alcohol. Grandma Anna says yes. And so Jen says yes. So that was kind of the impression I got too. Because then he's like, find that card. Like, you might be drinking on the job. You better find that card. And how important we later find that card really was. All right. 10 more questions for this episode. Number 30. What did Walt say about people you work with? And he's saying this to Wyatt. Wyatt is the stock detective. What does he say about people that you work with? Oh, did he, Grandma Anna? I didn't actually see him walk out with it. I thought he put it back down. But she said that Walt confiscated it. I missed that. So what did Walt say to Wyatt? Roseanne says she doesn't know. Anybody else have a guess? Oh, he did confiscate it. Well, I missed that. Thank you. Jen says she doesn't know. V says, and Walt says that they become like family. When you work with people, they become like family. All right. Why did Walt, when he went to Dale's house, now we're at Dale's house, okay? And Dale's like, well, did you bring a lawyer with you? Because remember, he lawyered up. And Walt's talking to him and tells him that the cattle have been found. And of course, they assume that it's his basically ranch hand because he was once in the pen with, what was his name? Dunwood. All right. And so Dale fires him. But in the end, Walt asked Trent, who is Dale's son, the guy that I had earlier said was Cooper, but being corrected, it was Trent. Why did Walt ask Trent to be the ones to pick up the cattle and not Dale? Why did he want Trent? We kind of learned this from Cooper's confession. because we have Cooper's confession of what the plan was. We have Amy, who is verbally admitting her part in it. And so Walt wants Trent to come in to get the cattle versus Dale, because in the sheriff's office is where he's going to confront Trent about their plan. Because really the person responsible for the cattle even going missing is Trent. He's the one who's basically stolen his dad's cattle. And so that's why Walt wanted him to come pick it up. Roseanne says yes. All right. Number 32. We've kind of already discussed this too. What is the connection between Trent and the girl in the street from Newport? And we've already talked about that. We've already mentioned that basically they were dating. So he came up with this crazy plan because he was stupid in love. We've already talked about that. All right. Question number 33 was, where did they meet? Right, Grandma Anna. They were lovers. And her name is Amy. And we've already talked about that. We must still have some squirrels playing with us. Okay, Roseanne's back, trying to chase our squirrels away. They're coming and playing with us. All right. Grandma Anna's back. Jen's back. All right. So maybe the squirrels are gone. I don't know if y'all were on Dana and Joe's show the other night. I had just popped over, and literally as soon as I popped over, they had a bad squirrel jump in on their video. It wasn't lagging it. It added to it, and it had a naked man walking across. I was like, whew, that was something. So, all right, we're back. Okay. So the state that their school was in was Maine. All right. So question number 34. Do you remember what question Walt asked Trent? He's asking him a question about something that just happened at his dad's house out at the ranch. He said, are you okay with something? And what was the question? Do you know? Do you remember? What did he ask him if he was okay with? Yes, Grandma Anna. She said the one guy getting fired. He asked, are you okay with Whitley Culver getting fired for a crime he had nothing to do with? All right. Question 35. What did Walt describe Trent as to Amy? He's talking with Amy, and yes, Janice, with Whitley working there. And Walt describes Trent to Amy when he's talking to her and says Trent was nothing more than a what? It starts with an O. I'm not sure if I've lost you guys. Organizer. That's a good guess, but that's not quite the answer. I'll give you the next two letters. OPP. Grandma Anna says, not sure. That's a good answer, Jen. Oppressor. The answer is opportunity. He described Trent as opportunity for her. Opportunists. You got it, Roseanne. Absolutely. All right. Question 36. So what was the plan for their hoax? All right. So there was 3 things for this hoax that they came up with. The first part was Cooper would shoot the truck up and switch the trailers. The second part is they would pay him $10,000. And all of this was done for the third part. And what was it? To raise what? Good job, Janice. To raise awareness. So that was the whole reason that all of this happened. It was never supposed to involve anyone getting hurt. Good job, Grandma Anna. Awareness. That's right. Good job. All right. So 37. We're winding down. 4 questions left on this episode. We don't have that many questions on the other one. We have 40 on this one. Who ended up hanging Cooper? So who did it? Who was our murderer? Grandma Anna says the cow cop. Anybody else agree with her? Roseanne says TJ. RJ. Jen says yep. It was the cow cop. It was the stock detective. All right. Why? What was his reason for hanging Cooper? In the end, this little hoax that Trent and Amy did provided the opportunity for, what was his name? Wyatt? Or no, Watts. Watts was his name. Oh, I got you guys. I'm so sorry, Roseanne. You are so right. RJ. RJ Watts, who is the cow cop. Yes. He was tired of seeing people he put away get out so quickly. That's right. And when they released Dunwood, that was it. All 16 people that he had arrested were now out of jail. And so he was hoping that if he killed Cooper, that everybody would think it was Dunwood and Dunwood would not get out of prison. Yes, Roseanne. Then RJ was scared for his life. And as we know, he ended up running the vehicle into the cop cars in the hopes of killing himself and Dunwood. But as we know, he died and Dunwood lived. So the last 2 questions are, we don't know the answers. So they're just discussion questions. The first one is, do you think Dunwood truly plans to turn his life around? Listening to him talk to Walt at the pen when Walt was out there talking to him, do you think he truly plans on? He did, Grandma Anna, you're right. He ran it into Vic's truck, actually. Do you think he really plans on turning his life around? Grandma Anna says no. Roseanne says yes. Janice says, yes, I do. My answer, my thoughts are, with half of you and half of you, I feel the other way, and I'll explain what I mean. As far as being a cattle rustler, yes, I do. I think he genuinely plans on not being a part of that anymore. I truly do believe that he genuinely wants to get things right and he wants to establish his own ranch and be his own cattle rancher. However, the fact that he gets released and the first thing he does is goes and gets a hooker, yeah, he's still got some stuff to figure out. But yes, I do believe that he's going to hang up his hat of being a cattle rustler. And hopefully that he's now been given another chance to live, he will definitely do that. So the last question for that episode is, who do you think sent Vic the flowers and who found her? And, well, we now know, but we're going to forget. All right, episode 5, party's over. All right, what'd y'all think about Lizzie and her little break-in call? Grandma says, love you ladies, but I have to go to bed. Good night and hugs. Good night, Grandma Anna. We love you. Sweet dreams. This has been awesome. We're so glad you've been with us. And I do apologize. Well, I do apologize and I don't apologize that we got kind of started late. Not started late as in the video, but we had a lot of chit chat in the beginning. But I enjoyed it. So, Janice says, what a plan. Right? Because clearly she's got to get his attention somehow. And it's not like he's going to, pick up a phone and call her because, he won't even carry a phone. But yeah, that was pretty clever on her part. And I kind of felt like Ruby was in on it because in the end, she knew exactly. Well, of course, the call came through, but Ruby is the one who called him about it. And so I'm pretty sure Ruby and Lizzie were, girl powering it up. But then a real call came in and she had to call Walt away. Kelly says, mwah, mwah, Grandma, good night. So yeah, good plan. Just, he's a sheriff. He's a busy man. All right, question 2. What did Walt say when he asked Ferg to stay with the body? So now we have found the Janice says good night, Grandma Anna. So the body's been found. So Walt has arrived at the body. They've already processed it a little bit. And what does he say to Ferg? He wants Ferg to stay with the body. Why? This episode was really kind of sad to me. Do you remember what he said to Ferg? Why he didn't want the body to be? Why he wanted Ferg to stay with the body? Yes, Roseanne. He said that nobody should be left in the alley alone. And Roseanne says, so she's not alone. Correct. All right. There were 6 things. We're going to be sleuths now. There were 6 things found. Yes, Janice. No one should be alone in an alley. Good job. There were 6 things that were found on the body. What were those 6 things? Do you remember? All right. Roseanne says pills, phone, and gang note. And key. V says, I need to go, ladies. I'm so happy to be in this live chat. Oh, we love you too, V. And we're so glad you came and hung out with us. I hope you can come hang out with us again next Friday. Have a great week. Sweet dreams. Jen says, blood, pills, phone. Janice says, pills, phone. Roseanne says, good night, V. V says, I have my chat live Sunday at 6:30. All right. So everybody mark your calendars to go get on her live at 6:30. V, real quick before you leave, I will be leaving to go to work. But what I do is I try to put my earbud in. And as long as I can listen and I'm not registering any patients, I will listen in. So, but I will say, hey, that I'm there. Jen says, bye, V. V says, and Monday through Friday at 11:30 a.m. I might be sleeping on some days, but I'm going to try this. So let's see. V is on Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Wait, is that p.m. or a.m. on Sunday? And Monday through Friday at 11:30 a.m. p.m. And is that Eastern Standard, Central? Where are you at? You're in Atlanta, so that's Eastern Standard Time. All right. Gotcha. You are in where one of my favorite places are. I love Stone Mountain in Atlanta, Georgia. I love the laser shows there. All right, so everybody mark your calendars to go check in on V's lives. Good night, V. All right, so here are the 6 things. Oh, thank you. You are too, love. Love you. Thank you for your encouragement. Good night. All right, so the 6 things. Blood on clothes, a gun wound in the side rib, bruising on the face, pill that was not an aspirin, cell phone, and key. What did Branch find between the mattress and the box spring in the victim's house? Yes, Janice. It was a pill bottle. It was Oxy. And I'm going to kind of start getting us going through these a little bit because it is getting kind of late. Yes, Roseanne, it was alleged Oxy. Good job. What did Walt tell Branch to find since he had found Jerry Solomon's pill bottle in the victim's house? The pill bottle was issued to a Jerry Solomon. So Walt told Branch to go find what since he had found Jerry Solomon's pill bottle? That's right, Janice, to go find Jerry. He told him, since you found Jerry Solomon's pill bottle, go find Jerry Solomon. All right. So Vic and Walt go to the fight where the victim's sister is fighting. And who do they run into? Who was at the fight? That's right, Roseanne. He ran into Henry and Lena, or they ran into Henry and Lena. And do you remember how many rounds it took Lorna Dove, that's the victim's sister, to knock her opponent out? It took how many rounds? Do you remember? That's right, one. It took one round. And it says, what was the pill that was found on Tanya? This is the victim. And it turns out that it was hydrocodone. All right. What did Branch say Jerry and Walt were the only two who still use what? Do you remember what ancient electronic he said that those two still used? It was an answering machine. All right. So now we've gone to Tanya's boyfriend's house, and Walt and Vic and them were talking to him and his mom. And what did Walt say about Justin? That was his name. What did he say? What did Vic? He said it to Vic that Justin was what? For someone who didn't know anything about the pills, he was right, Roseanne. He was under the influence. He was high. All right. This was going to be a discussion question, but why in the world did Vic spar with this fighter? She gets into the ring and fights and says, if I win, you'll talk. I mean, I know Vic is tough, but I knew that girl was going to get her butt beat. And so what was she thinking? Who ended up breaking into Jerry's house? Right, Roseanne? It was crazy. But, I mean, she held her own. And she threw some good punches, too. But that was just like the craziest thing. And Walt sat there and let her. Yes, the boys, the drug gang. Good job. All right. I think we might have lost some people. It says we got 8 people on here. Hello, Sylvia. She says, good evening, my beautiful Cynthia. Sorry I haven't been in church. Things have been happening, but God bless you. And hi, everybody. God bless you all. Sylvia, we are so glad to have you. I've been reading out all the comments just in case you came on. Yes, Janice, it was the boy gang. And Roseanne says, hi, Sylvia. Roseanne Alexander says, hi, Sylvia. It was. And it says, why did Jerry end up going to his daughter's house after they broke in and stole his pills? Janice says, hi, Sylvia. Janice Urfer says, hi, Sylvia. Why did he go spend some time with his daughter? Roseanne says to not get killed. And he was scared. So, all right. What did the boys say they sold? They're talking about the drugs, obviously, the pills. But what did they call it? What did they say they were selling? Sylvia, just in case you're not sure, we watched the movie on Netflix called Longmire, and we're in season 2. And tonight we were discussing episode 4 and 5, and we are on 5 right now. And on Mondays, as you know, because you have been working on it and had to restart it, but that conversation is between you and I, the Longmire blanket. So that's what we're discussing. And you guys are correct. Roseanne says magazines, Janice says magazines, and Sylvia says, hi, everybody. Yes, they called it magazines. And of course, what did the magazine stand for? They stood for the pills. All right. So what did Walt tell Lizzie about the home invasion call? Because they were talking about it. And he said something to her, which I thought was really sweet. Do you remember what he said to her? Roseanne says he liked that kind of call. He said it was the best home invasion call he had ever went on. All right. So this was a discussion question. Do you think he really likes her? Yes, Janice, best call. Do y'all think he really likes her? I do. But I think he's just kind of got so much on his plate right now. You know, he's still dealing with his wife's death, Katie disappearing, things with the res, you know, cases happening. I think he's kind of concerned about Vic and the flowers. I mean, he's got so much going on, and he's so busy. The election branch, he's got so much going on, and he's so busy taking care of everyone else that it's like he's taking care of them, but not himself. But yes, I agree, Roseanne and Janice. I think he does really like her. Especially when later she says something about him not saying something to Katie that he really should. He really needed to. So Jen says, hi, Sylvia. Jen Reeves says, hi to you, Sylvia. All right. Let's see here. Okay. So what did Walt say to Lizzie on why he hasn't opened her gift? And I still want to know what the gift is. I mean, it looks like a candle or something the way it's wrapped, but Sylvia says they're working on the lines underneath the ground, and I'm at Walmart using their internet. Oh, wow. Bless your heart. Well, I definitely appreciate all the efforts you've gone to be with us. That's a sacrifice. Thank you. Yes, Roseanne. He told her he wanted to open it in front of her. He said that he wanted her to be there when he opened it. Why do you think he really hasn't opened it? I mean, I think he was just kind of giving her a line there. But why do you think he hasn't opened it? I'm just curious what you think on that. Anybody have any opinions to offer? He may feel that he will be committing to a relationship, says Roseanne. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I feel like if he feels like if he opens it, he's accepting this gift from her, which means he's accepting the relationship. And the reason I've come to that conclusion, Roseanne, is because later when he's talking to Katie, he says, he kind of makes the comment, we're not really dating. And she says, it's okay. It's okay if you are. But he said, we're not really dating. So yes, I do agree. Eventually, right. I agree. But I think that's what it is. He's afraid of taking that initial step, and opening that gift will be taking that step. So I agree. All right. Who did Walt go see when Lizzie told Walt that she had seen Katie in Durant? So when Lizzie says, well, Katie's back here, who did Walt go see? Who was the first person he went to see? Yes, Roseanne. He went to see Henry. All right. Lorna is the victim, Tanya's sister. Why did the boys beat her up? They beat her up pretty good, put her in the hospital. Why do you think they beat her up? I'm sorry, Janice. I just saw your answer, Henry. Yes. Walt went and saw Henry. Why did the boys end up beating Lorna up so badly? Janice says, because she wasn't buying drugs anymore. Roseanne says, so she doesn't rat them out when she gets clean. I think both of those answers are correct. We know that she has stopped buying from them. She is trying to get Tanya clean and get her life turned around. And of course, Lorna has stopped because she's a mom now. She's got a baby. So she's clean. She's trying to get Tanya clean. And yes, I think they're afraid of her ratting them out. But now Tanya's dead and they didn't do it, but they don't know how she ended up dead. And so I think too that maybe by them beating up Lorna, which I don't think they expected her to really truly survive, that it might cast suspicions elsewhere. But yeah, at that point, it was starting to look like that maybe the boys had something to do with Tanya's death. All right. The next question. How did the boys even know which houses to rob? How do they know which houses to break into and steal the pills? How did they know that? Who was providing them with these addresses? Yes, Roseanne, it was the pharmacist. Remember that episode in the last one that we talked about was like just a classic scene, which was between Branch and Walt about the going and checking out the cattle ranches and dusting for prints. I kind of felt that we had that same kind of scene in this episode, but it was between Branch and Katie. So what do you think about the encounter between Branch and Katie, their whole little reunion there? Yes, Janice, the pharmacist was tipping them off. Absolutely. And undoubtedly making a little bit of a profit himself. It was awkward. And so my question is, the next question is, Branch still wants her back. Oh, definitely. There's no doubt about that. So that leads me into my next question, which is, do you think they'll get back together? Because she, we've kind of talked about this before, but in this episode, when they're having that little reunion, she keeps smiling at him. But she makes it clear he's not coming in. And he's like, well, I'm hoping we can be friends. And she's not really giving him anything. She's not really saying anything other than smiling at him. And I think she deep down still really cares for him. Oh, you're saying, Roseanne, you think that Katie's over him. And maybe the smiles was a polite way of saying it's over. I don't know. I can't wait to see. But I do think right now that she is indeed pushing him away, because now that she knows more about her mom's death, I think now she wants to come back and reconcile with her dad. And I think that she wants to be a little bit more compassionate towards him, especially with the burden that she now knows he carried to protect her. So, yeah. I definitely think she's going to have to definitely at this point in time keep Branch at bay. And she knows. She knows if she lets him come in the house that, it will be harder to send him away. So she was smart. She didn't let him in. All right. What did she tell him to take with him before she went in and closed the door? She told him to take something with him. His sign. He had put one of his sheriff signs in her yard. And so she told him to take it with him. And of course, after she shut the door, he's like, I've got plenty. What two things did Walt ask Jean, the pharmacist, to give him in order for him not to take him into jail? He asked for two things. Roseanne says the addresses. Yes. He asked for the list of names for all the gangsters he had sold to and a list of hydrocodone scripts that he filled within the last 2 months. So in the end, who killed Tanya? Who was the one that killed her? That's right, Roseanne. It was Justin's mom, Barbara. And it was an accident, though. And why was it an accident? Janice, you're right. The boy's mom, Justin's mom. But it was an accident because Justin was gone. Janice says she thought it was an intruder, a man. That's right. Justin was gone that night and she was there by herself, and Tanya was in the bathroom in the medicine cabinet, and Miss Barbara thought that it was an intruder, and so she thought it was a man, and so she shot her. So this is kind of skipping to the end. These last questions are right here at the end. What do you think was going through Walt's mind when he drove up to his cabin and he saw Katie sitting on the porch? Because he knows she's back in town. She had not come to see him. What do you think was going through his mind when he pulled up and saw her sitting there? Well, I know he was happy. Yes, he was happy to have her back home. And he was, Janice. He was glad to see her. And I think the fact that she was sitting there waiting for him let him know that not only with the knowledge he had of her being back, that the fact that she was there, that maybe she was ready to talk about her mom and their relationship. The next question we've already answered, so I'll say it and go over the answer. What did Walt say about Lizzie to Katie? And it was that they aren't really dating. So then the next thing is, do you remember what Walt called Katie? What his nickname for her was? It started with a P. Oh, Roseanne, that's a cute name. That's not it, but that's cute. Pink Pumpkin. Yes, Roseanne, that is correct. Punk. He called her Punk. All right. So these next two questions, kind of questions and answers of endearment between the two of them. And at this point, we knew that they were going to be okay. But there was one question that Katie asked of her dad. And what was it? Do you remember? She asked him one question. Yes, Roseanne. She says, are you ever going to finish the cabin? And what was his answer to her? All right, Janice says, are you, yes, going to finish the cabin? Roseanne says, event. Roseanne says, Ulu? Oh, eventually. The answer he gave her was, only if you come around more. And so that was sweet. That was a very, very squishy, tender moment. All right. These last two questions are not necessarily answers given to us. They're thought questions. And this is what we got. Why do you think Walt sighed so heavily at the end? The very last thing, the very last scene part of the episode, it then goes off showing them both from behind, sitting on the porch. And you see Walt go, so why do you think he had that deep, deep sigh? Janice says he's relieved that she's home. Yes. And I think in that moment, he knows that they're going to be okay. He gets that she had to go off because he kept this from her, even though he was protecting her. He had to let her go, which at first he didn't even know she was gone, but in a sense, he had to let her go and figure things out. And now she's back. She's got this understanding. They have this underlying help me, Janice. What's the word I'm looking for? You helped me earlier with rivalry. Understanding. There we go. They have this mutual understanding now of the burden that each was carrying. And I think now they're going to be able to start healing. Although we know from last week that it's not over with. Not for Walt anyway, because Flack is on a mission. All right. Last question. And we kind of somewhat may know the answer to this. Do you think Vic is in danger? Because of the flowers, do you think Vic is in danger? Roseanne says yes. Jenna says yes, she is. Well, clearly, she got very emotional about it because when she read the card in front of Walt, she got emotional. When she was talking to her husband and said, they found me, she broke down in his arms. So she very much had that emotion of fear. So yes, I think she's in trouble. But with what we've learned tonight, that it's her partner, my question now that I didn't have here is, now we know that, do you remember what she said about her partner? Because she shared some stuff with Walt in that very first episode we ever watched in season 1. Do you remember what it was? Because I don't know why I thought he had died, but he didn't, clearly. So, any take on that before we end? Jenna says, I don't. Yeah. Roseanne says she thought so too. Yeah, I thought he had died, but I guess we'll find out. To be continued. All right. Well, as always, this has been a fun time together. And I did crochet some. I'm almost ready to switch colors. So that was cool. I hope you were able to crochet some. Janice and Roseanne, I really appreciate you hanging in to the end with me here and answering questions. It says I've got 8 people still on here. So I would like to ask if you're still on here and you've not done so already. I'd appreciate it if you would give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you didn't, well, you don't have to give me a thumbs up. But all right. Oh, thank you, Roseanne. She says, no problem. This is still fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a blast. Yeah, it is definitely, like I said before, I look forward to Fridays now. They are like literally my favorite day. So, but all right. Next week, Janice says, I like it too. Oh, thank you, Janice. I am. I'm having so much fun, and I'm so glad y'all are. And the blanket, I would not end up having such a pretty blanket if it weren't for you guys. So I am really, really blessed. So next week we will be looking at season 2, episodes 6 and 7, and we're quickly getting through season 2. And by the way, I have 2 quick things. I know it's getting late. Netflix has, oh, thank you, Kelly. She says it's always fun with you. I appreciate that, love. Netflix has Longmire going through season 6, but it seems like somewhere outside of Netflix, I saw that there's more than 6 seasons. Does anyone know how many seasons? I'd be curious to find out. And if you don't, then I will definitely keep looking into that. And the other thing real quick is I have been on the waiting list at my local library since April for a book that my sister-in-law had told me about and said it was a really great read and she thinks that I would enjoy it. So I went to the library to get it, and there were none on the shelves. So I asked the librarian about it, and she says, oh my gosh, that book is in high demand and there's a long, long waiting list. So she signed me up for it. Well, that was again in April, and here we are almost the end of October, and I hadn't gotten a call. So today when I got up after getting off work, I called her and I asked her about it. And I have a feeling that somebody forgot to add me to the waiting list, because she ended up saying, well, we actually have one in on the shelf right now. And so she's going to hold it for me till Monday for me to come pick up after I get off work and leave the surgeon's office. And it's called Where the Crawdads Sing. So I don't know if you've ever heard of that book, but anyway, so I'm finally going to get a copy of this. So I have to call my sister-in-law this weekend and let her know that I'm getting it finally. But while I was on the phone with her, I asked her if they carry, and I had the author's name written down and I don't have it in front of me, but I asked her if they carried any of his books, which are the Longmire series. And our library does not. But she says that the Whitmire library, and Whitmire is about 20 minutes from us, that they carry them and that they have several of them there. She said she thinks they have like 12 of his books that are on the Longmire episodes. And she said that they can actually get them sent over from their library to our library. And I asked her how long that took, and she said about a week. Well, I can drive 20 minutes down the road and go to that library, and my library card, she said, will actually work there. So I am going to go check into that. And today, I kind of earlier gave a somewhat prayer request for people to pray for me, but I'm going to kind of leave it in God's hands. But I feel like if I find some of these books and I can check more into the front of it on the copyright index. Jen says it's still buffering. Sylvia says, I'll listen to that book on the Prowl Institute Library. Laugh out loud. My God, it's a really, really good book. Look on Audible Audio has it. Okay. Well, Sylvia, I'm going to be honest. You were honestly part of the inspiration of me even thinking about this. Because I didn't even know that Longmire had any books, that there were any books on it. But then again, a lot of good movies are based off of books. And sweet, I'm getting Roseanne and Jen all back. So my question is, would anybody be interested in, if I indeed can get my hand on these books, and I'm able to because of copyright, because I'm not making any money off of it, so it would be like an Audible book. Would anyone be interested in me reading those books? And be honest, that's why I'm asking this. If there's not a great audience for it, then that's okay. I have been personally enjoying some audiobooks on YouTube. YouTube has some really great audiobooks. One of my subscribers, he actually told me about the audiobooks on YouTube. I had no earthly idea, which I don't know why. I listen to music on on YouTube. But even through me looking into the audiobooks that he told me about, I learned that there's movies. But anyway, so I was excited when I found out that there were books. And I thought, what another relaxing way to crochet and listen. And even if I read it as an, audio and upload it, then when it's replaying, I can sit back and enjoy the story and crochet. But if there's not a really great need for that, then that's okay. Granny D reads books, and I love on Saturdays going and listening to her. And if I did do this, it would be on a Sunday. So let me see what you're saying. Roseanne says yes. So, it's definitely something that I am thinking about looking into. And I think it's the same way with, and Jana says she might be interested. I'll just be curious to see how the books kind of read, because the show is great. Like, I am just enthralled. I'm trying, Jen. You're going to have to help me. What is the next series we're looking at? I keep trying to say Handmaid. Oh, Call the Midwife. I know that there's a blanket. Jen says, I probably wouldn't watch them, but I know some really like it. And that's what I want to know, Jen. And I appreciate that. I know for me, sometimes in the ER, that's when I listen to Granny D. I replay hers because, one, it helps keep me awake when we have that lull. But also, again, sometimes we see things in the ER and it helps relax me. And so it kind of helps clear my mind. So you're right. It would be for some and it wouldn't be. But I'm just curious if there's enough that it would make a difference. And I don't care if just one person would benefit, then I would do it. So, and I understand that, Jen. It's just like some of my lives, you know, that I replay that people do. I miss their lives, but I pull up the replay again and listen to those in my earbud as the night goes on, or if I've got to drive, you know, a long distance, then I'll put that in because I'd rather listen to that than the radio, you know. So, well, I'm going to be looking into that. I will know a little bit more Monday because, like I said, after I get off work, I go straight to the surgeon office for my consultation, and then I'm going over to the library to pick up Where the Crawdads Sing, and then I'm just going to go ahead while I'm out and swing on into Whitmire and check out their library and see what I can come up with. So I'll be able to tell you more next week. But all right. Well, guys, this has been a long night, but it's been a fun night as always. I love you guys so much. I hope you have an amazing week. I know, Jen, you just had a busy week, and Janice, congratulations again. And I'm looking, got all my notes right here. Where's my prayer book? That's where I put. Oh, Jen, I will be praying for your prayer request that you asked us. And definitely praying for Matthew. So, all right, ladies, thank you so much. And gents, we might have some gents on here that have not said hello. So we definitely don't want to exclude our gents. You guys mean so much to me. Jen says the books have to be so old to read them here. And that is true. Because one thing I already looked into, my mom had given me a lot of her Jeanette Oak books. And I thought, oh, what a great series to read on my channel because they're so wholesome and pure. But I can't because of the copyright. And so that is something that I have come to learn after a certain year. And I think it was like in the 80s. If it's before the 80s, I think I'm okay. But a lot of the things after the 80s, you cannot. So that's what I have to find out. And I asked the librarian about it. I asked her if she had any idea, and she said she didn't. So she advised me to Google. But you can look in the front cover of the book, and it will tell you. If it says in no way, shape, or form to do it even as any form of electronic audio, then I can't. So I asked Granny D about it, and she said that a lot of her books are extremely older stories, but then made the suggestion that what would be the difference of an audio? Well, the thing about that too, and from what I have been able to research, that even if it's done as an audio, there's a written permission. Now, it does provide me the publisher's address, and I can write them a letter and ask them. And so if I tell them what I'm doing and I'm not making any money off of it, and I'm not, and I wouldn't be, and even if I ever get to a point that I'm monetized, there would never be any ads on there because I wouldn't, I mean, because then I am stepping into a territory, but that's not why I would be doing it. It would be for a non-monetary reason that I was doing it. So just like my Bible studies, there's just certain things, I'm sorry, you will never have to worry about because I'm understanding, I'm so far from being monetized, and it's not even anything that I'm even remotely close to thinking about. But I think we have control over that if I'm understanding that correctly. And I hope so anyway, because I don't ever want any ads on my Bible studies. So especially if they're uploads, I think I would definitely have control over that. So that's something I do need to look into because, yeah, there's just certain things. I'm sorry. I don't want to make any kind of profit or of any way off of, other than sharing God's love. So, Janice says, thanks for a good night. I send you my address. Thanks for all the prayers. Oh, thank you, Janice, for your address. And you are most welcome. You're most welcome. And then she says, I love Jeanette Oak books. I know. As a young girl, I remember watching my mom read them. And then when I got to high school, she would let me read some, and they're great books. So I even know that right now, I think on Netflix, they have When Calls the Heart, which is one of her stories. So either that or I found it on YouTube when I was going through. But anyway, all right, my loves, I love you so much. You guys have a great week. Be joyful. Stay crafty in your own way and make your own joyful creations, even if it's just making your heart smile with a smile. I love you so much. Bye. Good night.